My grandmother loved to garden, and I always think of this when I plant bulbs. She told me that it doesn't really matter which way you put the bulb in the ground. If you're putting it in upside down or right side up, it's going to find its way. It's going to find its way to the light, and you're like that bulb. You will also find your way. No matter what turns and twists you take in life, you're going to find your way if you listen to yourself. Welcome to Hey Beautiful Creative, the podcast designed to inspire and empower creative entrepreneurs just like you. Whether you're a full-time artist or crafter, a side hustler, or someone dreaming of starting your own creative business, this show is your new best friend, here to support and encourage you on your journey in creative entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Tori Nguyen. With over 2 decades of experience selling my handmade goods online, to boutiques, and at markets, I've been where you are and I'm here to help you grow. My best friend and I also own 2 retail stores and organize large craft markets, which gives me a unique perspective on combining creativity with effective business strategies from both sides of the table. Each week we'll dive into practical business and marketing tips, inspiring artist interviews, and the motivation you need to take your creative dreams and make them your reality. Whether you're looking to boost your confidence, refine your business skills, or take actionable steps toward your goals, this podcast will leave you energized and ready to chase your dreams. Hey, beautiful creative! Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking your time and spending it with me. I hope this episode brings you lots of clarity on how to trust yourself and stop seeking permission to follow your own creative path. Quick reminder before we get started. If you've ever struggled with fear, perfectionism, or imposter syndrome, my free Creative Confidence Kickstart Challenge was made for you. It's a 5-day experience to help you move forward with more confidence. You can sign up at heybeautifulcreative.com. If there's a little voice inside of you that's whispering or screaming for something more, but you feel like you're holding yourself back, this is your episode. We're going to talk about why we don't trust ourselves, how to stop seeking external permission, what's helped me reconnect with myself, and at the end, I've got a big pep talk for you, so be sure to stick around for that. When I was a kid, I had a secret dream of being an actress, and I think there must have been a lot of stories in magazines that you would read that someone was discovered at a shopping mall or just, sounded like they were just given this magical opportunity to be a model or an actress or a pop star. And maybe that happened to a very tiny extent, but I think I moved forward from that thinking and just waiting for someone to come along and tell me like, hey, I want to give you this incredible opportunity because I see something special in you. And it took me a long time to realize that that's not how life works. There is no knight in shining armor. You are the hero of your own story. And if you want something, you have to reach out for it and take that first step. That tells the universe that you're here for it and you're showing up for it. You have to make that bold statement and claim it as yours. Why don't we trust ourselves more? If you experience a lot of self-doubt, I want you to know that it isn't because there's something wrong with you. You're not deficient. It's very normal. That self-doubt was put there by external forces. One could be societal conditioning. We live in a patriarchal society that's rooted in white supremacy. We've all been trained to doubt ourselves in many ways from many external forces. And I could really go on and on about that for hours, but that's not the focus of this podcast. Just know that the society that we live in, especially if you're in America, has trained you. It's deeply ingrained for you to doubt yourself. Also, with the internet and social media, we're really trained to seek external feedback, external validation, and likes. We have access to really constantly compare ourselves to other people, which we didn't have. If you grew up without the internet, you remember what it was like. And sure, you probably still really compared yourself to other people on TV and movies and magazines, but you didn't have constant access to seeing how fabulous everybody else's life looks on the internet. And I think we really are chasing those dopamine hits where we want likes, we want comments, we want feedback. And in order to start trusting ourselves more, we need to let go of some of that and start tuning it out, because it's not helpful, it's not healthy. And I think that we're a lot happier when we stop comparing ourselves to other people and stop looking for external feedback, likes, comments. I'm guilty of all of these things too, so just know that. We're all in this together. Another reason people don't trust themselves is a fear of failure. If you do have a fear of failure, you could work on reframing your thinking around that. Things might not go as planned, but however it works out, you will have learned something that you can take with you on your next adventure. I really look at things that might be considered quote-unquote failures as learning opportunities, and it gives you information that you can take with you. You really learn a lot, and then you can do something different the next time you try. Another thing that undermines our self-trust is being a people pleaser. I'm the girl who had to have straight A's in school. I can't stand when anyone's mad at me, and I've always really wanted everyone to like me. It's embarrassing to admit that, but if you know me, you probably already know. And it's really exhausting. It's also completely unattainable, and it's impossible. I can't please everyone. Not everyone's going to like me. And that's something that I've really had to learn as I've gotten older. We're not all for everybody. I'm going to be me. And if you like that, great. If you don't like that, that's fine too. We don't all like everyone that we meet. I do want to give a gentle disclaimer. There are lots of reasons why we may have people-pleasing tendencies and self-doubt and low self-esteem, and I do recognize that some of those may stem from abuse and trauma and discrimination, especially in childhood. If that applies to you and all of this feels like a really big hurdle that's built on underlying emotional or physical trauma, I want to say I'm really sorry that happened to you. You are beautiful. You are whole. You didn't deserve that, and I encourage you to seek professional support from a licensed and trained mental health professional if this feels like too much to work through on your own. You don't have to do it alone. Now we've looked at some reasons why we may not trust ourselves. So now let's talk about how do we get past seeking external validation and permission, looking for somebody else to tell us what we need to do or how we should do it. Well, building trust in yourself takes time, just like building muscle, just like building confidence. It comes from repetition and consistent action. Be patient and allow yourself grace while you're learning this skill. The people in your life, your friends, family, and coworkers, are likely going to have opinions, advice, or concerns for you that they're going to share, especially if you're sharing your dreams with them or you're starting down a new path. They may not understand your decisions. That's okay. Some of them will be speaking from a place of love. Some of them will be speaking from a place of fear, and they might be projecting their own doubts and fears onto you. You can listen to what they're saying and let them feel heard, but don't take it all to heart. You don't need to take anything to heart that doesn't fully resonate with you. And if it doesn't resonate with your deepest dreams and desires, just hear them, thank them for their concern, and then let those things wash away. Don't let someone else's fears stand in your way. However, if you are making a big life decision that's going to affect other people in your life, like a spouse, a partner, or other family members, like let's say you want to quit your 9-to-5 job and open a cupcake shop. That's going to impact your finances and how your family functions. So obviously, you're going to want to have some conversations with your family or your partner about these dreams that you're having and the feelings that you've got, and kind of iron some things out before you make any bold moves. So when I'm saying don't listen to what everyone's saying, obviously there are some people in your life whose opinions you do want to consider if your actions are directly affecting them. When it comes to people like coworkers, acquaintances, and maybe even some of your close friends, just keep in mind that some of them may be projecting their own fears and doubts onto you, and to process that information accordingly. If you're not quite ready to trust yourself to make any big decisions, you could start listening to the little things. Is your body quietly asking you to move it around more? Do you feel nudged to take a break and get outside and go for a walk while you're working at the computer? Listening to yourself and your needs for the small everyday things will help you build that trust muscle so you can start following your instincts and your inner guidance for bigger things. Trusting yourself doesn't mean that you won't make mistakes and you won't stumble along the way or maybe turn the wrong direction from time to time. My grandmother loved to garden, and I always think of this when I plant bulbs. She told me that it doesn't really matter which way you put the bulb in the ground, so you don't need to be concerned about which is the top or the bottom. If you're putting it in upside down or right side up, it's going to find its way. It's going to find its way to the light. And you're like that bulb. You will also find your way. No matter what turns and twists you take in life, you're going to find your way if you listen to yourself. Your path isn't going to be a straight line, though. Sometimes the detours in our lives are where we find the best stuff. We learn the most from the unexpected twists, turns, and bends. I love to travel, and one of my favorite things to do in a new city is just wander around. I feel like I see things that I never would have seen otherwise if I was following my really rigid plan of getting from place to place. When I was in college, I was an exchange student in France, and this was before the internet was really much. We had email, but we didn't really use it for anything else. So there was no Google Maps. We used guidebooks, like you would buy a guidebook for a place you were going to visit and then rip out the pages that pertained to each city that you were going to. And often that was the only information that you had about that place. Maybe there was a map, maybe you could find a map at a train station, but we had to really rely on ourselves to find our ways around. For our Christmas break that year, my friends and I went to Italy, and we were walking around. It was after dusk, and the streets were very curvy. They were winding all around. It was not gridded. I had no idea where we were or which direction our hostel was, and thankfully my friend had a better sense of direction in that place. But I remember we stumbled upon this courtyard, and it was so beautiful. It had strings of lights all coming toward the middle of it. And I don't think I had ever seen anything quite like that before. It was super magical, and it really struck with me. And I think about that when I think about how life takes you to new places if you are just following your curiosity and kind of following your path. Even if you don't know exactly where it's going, you're going to see so much beauty and have so many more magical experiences if you're just open to what's out there. If you're like me, though, and you like to plan and you want to know how everything's going to happen, it can be hard to let go and trust that you're on the right path and that things will work out for you. To me, starting something new feels like walking down the stairs in the dark. You can't see the steps, but you still have to put one foot out and start moving. And what I've found is that the next step isn't as far down as you think. So take that step forward, trust yourself. You're going to find your way. You know what's best for you. I really believe in you. Here are some things that help me reconnect with myself. Taking walks and not listening to any music or podcasts or not looking at my phone. Spending a few minutes tending my garden. I really like to be outside, and I like trimming my rose bushes. I like planting things and kind of nurturing things. I don't have an amazing garden, so I always joke, like if you saw my garden, you wouldn't really know that I like gardening. because it's not something I do all the time, but it is a really good way for me to kind of get back into my body and be present and connect with the earth. Another thing I like to do is spend time with my pets. I've got 2 dogs and 2 cats, and sometimes I realize I'm petting them, but I'm also looking at my phone or doing a bunch of other things. And when I really stop and just be there in the moment with them, pay attention to them as a being and look into their eyes or really think about how soft their fur is, it helps me kind of ground and is more quality time that we're spending together. And that helps me reconnect with myself. Another thing I like to do is gaze out the window. Where I sit to work on the computer, I can see birds in my backyard, and I have a hummingbird feeder too. And so sometimes I'll just take a break and kind of look out and see what the hummingbirds are doing, or see any other birds that are in my backyard, or notice something beautiful, the way the wind is blowing in my neighbor's tree. One of my favorite things to do is to wander around and take photos. I do that a little bit in my hometown, but I definitely love doing it when I'm traveling. But it is a way to really help me get more present in my surroundings and to just kind of be in myself. And lastly, I love looking at art. So I find that to be a really nice way that I kind of reconnect with myself as well. Now, I know that everyone's brains work differently, so what works for me may not work for you. My daughter has an easier time concentrating at school or on her schoolwork if she listens to music in her headphones. I can't do anything. I can't hear myself think, so I can't think and I can't write anything. If there's background noise, I need silence. But you may be someone who needs that background noise. Maybe you like to have the TV on or have a podcast going or listen to music, and having that extra noise helps you really tune into yourself. Find whatever works best for you and do those things. I encourage you to take a few minutes today to write down some small things that you can do and that you enjoy that really help you connect with yourself. The goal here is to find moments where you can really hear your own self so that you're paying attention to what you might be wanting or needing. And it's really hard to hear yourself when we have constant other inputs going on in our lives. Our lives are very chaotic, they're busy, so we're trying to find some small moments where you can really reconnect with yourself and tune in and be in touch with you. Once you've made your list, the next challenge is to find times throughout the day when you can squeeze in these things from your list. You don't need to do them all every day, but try to do at least one once a day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Even if it's just taking a few deep breaths at a stoplight, give yourself some time to connect and really be with yourself. One thing you could do is sit quietly, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, what is it that I really want? What do I need in order to take the next steps forward on my creative path or in my life or in my career? And then listen to yourself and really acknowledge your feelings. You may have fears that come up. If that happens, tell them thank you. Thank you to my fears for trying to protect me. And then you can assure those fears that you're going to be okay. If following your creative path means that you want to start or grow your own business, or if you're looking at being self-employed or cutting back on other sources of income, I recommend creating a clear financial plan for yourself so you know how much money you need each month to cover all of your bills and where that money's going to come from. That may not be the most fun side of walking this path, but having that clarity around your finances is going to alleviate a lot of stress involved in trusting yourself and moving forward. I've made a list of some of my favorite books relating to creativity and mindset that you might enjoy checking out. It also includes some of my all-time favorite novels, so if you want to check that out, I'll put a link to it in the show notes. It is an affiliate link. It's on bookshop.org. So if you purchase anything from the link in my list, I get a tiny percentage of the sale. That's not really what I'm after. I just thought that was an easy way to compile them all for you. I highly encourage you to purchase them from a locally owned bookshop in your area, not on Amazon. Don't order them on Amazon. I know it's super convenient and easy, but I do find it so crucial that we are continuing to support the small local businesses in our communities. If we want them to still be there, we need to support them. So if you decide that you want to order any of those books, get them from one of your favorite local bookshops. Okay, here comes the pep talk. Are you ready? You are already whole, and you have all the answers within you. You don't need to listen to anyone else to tell you what is right for you. You already know, but you have to listen. Listen to yourself, even if it feels scary or uncomfortable. In the core of your being, you know the right path for yourself. You know the next best step forward that you need to take. Listen to that little whisper inside of you. Pay attention to that nudging feeling. Get curious about it. See what it has to say and where it leads you. That is your soul speaking to you, your essence, your internal compass. Only you can do what you came here to do. And only you can do it in your unique way. You're a special, unique human being with your own mix of energy, skills, wisdom, and experiences. Nobody else has lived the exact life that you have lived. What you make and what you share with the world is unique to you. Only you can do it in that way. So believe in yourself as I believe in you, and take a small step toward your dreams today. The key takeaways for this episode: number 1, self-doubt is not your fault. It's shaped by societal conditioning and comparison culture. Number 2, you are the hero of your own story. Nobody else can give you permission to follow your creative path. Number 3, building self-trust is like building a muscle. It takes practice, patience, and grace. Number 4, listening to your inner nudges in small ways leads to bigger breakthroughs. And number 5, mistakes, detours, and stumbles are a part of the journey, and they help you grow. Send me an email through heybeautifulcreative.com or a DM on Instagram. I'm at heybeautifulcreative, and let me know your favorite way to slow down, get quiet, and listen to yourself. I'm always looking for new ideas, and I love getting to know you better. Thank you so much for listening, Beautiful Creative. I'm wishing you all the best. See you next week. If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would write a review, share it on your socials, or forward it to a friend. Be sure to subscribe or follow the show wherever you listen to your podcast so you don't miss out on upcoming episodes. And check out heybeautifulcreative.com for more resources designed to help you take your creative dreams and turn them into your reality. See you next week.